Welcome to my top 10 most anticipated comics for September 25th, 2024. I'm Mike Spider-Slayer. Welcome back to Comic Book Corner 2.0. Hopefully this list does help you make decisions on what comic books to buy, because it's never too early to start that pull list for next week. Before we dive into it, guys, I just got to give a quick shout out to Whatnot. Guys, check out Whatnot. There is a link in my description box below. It doesn't cost you anything. And when you create your profile for the first time and you win your first auction on Whatnot, you're going to get a $15 credit. So like I said, it's absolutely for free. You don't have to use it on comic books. You can buy whatever it is that you want on there. Again, guys, the link, description box below. Save yourself $15 today, and it does also help support the channel. All right, so here we go. Kicking it off with the hot seat, we have Masters of the Universe, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Turtles of Grayskull, Issue 1. That is a mouthful. So here we go. We got He-Man teaming up with the Turtles. Could be fun, could be stupid. I don't know. They're both properties of the same generation, and sometimes when you mix that together, you know, it makes it just for a fun comic book. This one is 32 pages, and this one is $4. Here is the book that's on the rise. This one is Universal Monsters Frankenstein. This is issue 2, The Brain of a Killer. Now, when it came to issue 1, I wasn't sure what to expect, but we got a great story of a young boy who happened to be in the graveyard, and this doctor digs up a body and digs up another body and is creating the Frankenstein monster, and finds out that the hands of the monster is from the boy's dad, right? And you're kind of like, oh man, that's very creepy. And the boy feels like that the doctor is sick in the head and he must take matters in his own hand. And that's kind of how the first issue ended. I was like, okay, this makes for a good second issue. You know, I want to see what this has in store. So I'm definitely looking forward to this one. This one is $5. Officially kicking off the top 10, we have number 10, The Amazing Spider-Man. This is issue 58. So supposedly this is the bloodiest, the most brutal issue that you're ever going to read when it comes to Spider-Man. Spider-Man is facing off against Tombstone here. So this is legacy numbering 952. It's 32 pages, $5. What do you think you can expect from this comic with that John Romita Jr. artwork? Let me know in the comments below. Coming in at number 9, we have Absolute Power Origins. This is issue 3. So this story has been surprisingly good in my eyes. We've gotten the origin story of Amanda Waller on how she became quite the bad person that she is today. Obviously, she has things, she sees things in her point of view. She feels that she's right, but obviously she's addicted to this power, to this situation at this point, and that's why this whole Absolute event actually exists. So seeing that story from where she was to how she becomes today is actually quite interesting. Issue 2, we got introduced to the first Task Force X group. I thought that was cool, so we'll see what issue 3 has to offer. This one is $4. Coming in at number 8, this is a book that was recommended to me from you guys, the webheads, and I did read it digitally. This one is called Stand Still. This is issue 2. So this was an interesting story about this guy that time travels all over the place doing these jobs for money, right? This time travel device was actually stolen from the Pentagon. We know the scientist who created this device, but before all these bad things happened, he was released from them, and now it looks like they're recruiting him back to join so they can create another time travel device to try to keep up with this guy. Very interesting story. I'm trying to remember who wrote this, but this was really good and unexpectedly, surprisingly, caught my eye once it was brought to my attention here. So thank you guys for pointing this one out. It's a $5 comic. Coming in at number 7, we have Nightclub II. This is issue 2. So this is an interesting story. The Nightclub group was a group of 3, and it became a love triangle. One of the boys wound up leaving the group because one boy fell in love with the girl that he was in love with, and he felt that was kind of crappy, so they went their own separate ways. And then in the last issue, you kind of get to see what these guys are up to at this point in time, and it looks like the kid that left the group initially is joining the wrong side of the group, and he's using his powers for possibly evil. Might be a little bit predictable. I don't think anything will ever live up to the first volume of this, but it's still a good read, and it still has great artwork. Remember, this is written by Mark Millar, and it's $5. Coming in at number 6, we have the Uncanny X-Men issue 3. So issue 1 and 2 was pretty good. I felt 1 was better than the second one. It wasn't as emotionally driven. Interesting way for the X-Men to get introduced to these new mutants by fighting them, but maybe it's a way for you to see their power sets. That's why they did it this way. And we're getting to learn a little bit about the villain, and then there's another villain that works for the major villain that captures mutants. There's a lot of different storylines going on here, and we get introduced to more characters in this book. We're getting ready to see Nightcrawler in here, so that could be fun for a lot of readers. 32 pages, $5 for this comic. Top 5. This book was a trip. This is Venom War Zombie Oats. This is issue 2. I'm pretty sure they made variant covers called Zombie Oats in a couple years back, and they made an actual comic of it now, which I thought it was hilarious. So this ties into the Venom War, and if you're familiar with Meredith, who is the big bad in the Venom series, he's an Eddie Brock from the future. He brought these mindless zombie oat-like creatures and to the world, and they're like zombies, right? It's like you bite somebody, you get infected, you become a zombie oat. It's a zombie plague that's going on. The artwork is absolutely spectacular. What makes this book is the cast of characters in here. So you got like Patsy Walker, you got She-Hulk in here. There's lots of different characters that make it fun to read. So this one is good. 32 pages, $4. Coming in at number 4, and even though I was a little bit let down by this, I'm curious to see if the story will amp up a bit. And this is Wolverine Revenge. This is the Red Band edition, issue 2. I think at this point, I'm just going to get the Red Band ones and not get the other ones anymore, because there's not that much of a difference, and you might as well pay for the extra content, what little there is, so you get the full experience. So this book, you wind up seeing some kind of apocalyptic situation that happened to where the whole world was destroyed, and we wind up getting to see our heroes trying to save what's left of the population. We wind up seeing that certain heroes wind up getting captured. We wind up seeing deaths. It looks like Wolverine is left on his own now to take on the mission at hand. Does he succeed? Who knows? We'll see. 28 pages, $6. Great artwork by Capullo. Coming in at number 3, we have Green Arrow. This is issue 16. It looks like Ollie is going to have to do battle against Dr. Bright. This is an Absolute Power tie-in. The whole thing why Green Arrow joined Amanda Waller was so his family could be left alone, and that whole thing has gone down the toilet at this point. So why not Ollie join back with his family, fight Dr. Bright? This has been a great family dynamic type of book. Absolutely awesome to read. Great artwork. So much that goes into this book, like action and everything. Good stuff. I think they fought on a jet in the last issue. It's just awesome, dude. 32 pages for the price of $4. Coming in at number 2, we have Verl, issue 6. It's back. It seemed like it took a month or 2 off as we get to see our felines, our favorite felines, run away from the rabies outbreak, right? And one of their own has captured the disease, and it looks like he's going to be maybe fighting the others out there. This book is filled with suspense. There's a lot of emotion, and obviously if you're an animal lover, this is going to hurt a little bit, just like Stray Dogs hurt me a lot when I was reading it, but it is a phenomenal read, and the artwork is beautiful. This is a $4 book. All right, guys. So remember, after number 1, we are not done, as we're going to be talking about the noteworthy comic books, because these are my top 10 most anticipated, but I feel like it's my duty to let you know some of the other books that are getting ready to come out. And my number 1 comic book for the week goes to Ultimate Spider-Man issue 9. So this book is going to be fun because we have the Sinister Six. They're going to make their first strike, and we got introduced to them in the last issue, right? And I want to see who that first member is that throws down with Spider-Man and Green Goblin. That could be a lot of fun, and it looks like Tony Stark might return as well, or the son of Tony Stark might return. So we'll see. Always a phenomenal read. I love the artwork in here as well. 32 pages, $5. Here we go. Now we move on to those noteworthy comics, guys. And the first one we're talking about right now is Marvel Comics, and this is the Avengers Annual. This is issue 1. I think this might be the conclusion because this is the Infinity Watch. It started with Thanos and now it might end with Thanos. So we'll see. I stopped reading those. Next is X-Force issue 3. So here we go. We got X books coming out. There's a lot of them already. And these are a lot of the books that I'm thinking about possibly dropping if they don't get better as time goes along. The next one is NYX issue 3, which I am dropping. I did not like issue 1. I checked out issue 2. I did not like it. So I will be dropping issue 3. The next one is Phoenix issue 3. Same thing here. There's nothing here where I can see myself reading this for a longer term. So I'm not going to be reading Phoenix. Then we have Phases of Moon Knight issue 2. I just got done reading Vengeance of Moon Knight. That was issue 9. Really great series. I don't think I checked out Phases of Moon Knight, but I don't think this is written by the same writer. So I'm waiting for the next story to come out. The next book we're talking about is Werewolf by Night issue 2. Did not enjoy that story at all. It was just a total letdown. Didn't deserve to be polybagged or explicit in any way. Passing on that story. Then we have Deadpool Team Up issue 2. You got the Liefeld goodness going on here with the artwork and the weird storytelling. If you're a fan of that, go ahead and pick that one up. Next, we move on to DC Comics. We have Detective Comics 1089. I think this is officially the last issue of Ram V's run. Then we have Action Comics issue 1069. Not even sure what's going on in this comic book right now. I think, oh yeah, this is that individual story that's going on. That's right. And I think, is it Gail Simone who's writing this one? And then you got Rainbow Rowell who does the backup story. So yeah, we might be getting that right now. Then we have Tom Taylor's continuation of Titans. This is issue 15, as they're still dealing with Raven. Then we have The Flash. This is issue 13. And then we have the continuation of Zatanna, Bring Down the House, issue 4, as Constantine enters the picture. Then we have Harley Quinn, issue 43. Then we have Task Force 7. This is the final issue, issue 7. And we'll see what this one is about. And then we have The Nice House by the Sea, issue 3. I liked issue 1 of this, but issue 2, I was like, it's not as good anymore. I don't know. It's just something about it. So I don't think I'm going to be reading it. Then we have Power Girl, issue 13. Followed by Batman Echoes, or Batman 89 Echoes, issue 5. Now we move on to the indie comics. I'm still going to read it. I'm just not as hyped about it as I used to be. We have Saga, issue 69. Look at the cover. Makes sense, right? All right. Then we have King Spawn, issue 38. Followed by The Helen of Windhorn, issue 5 from Dark Horse. Then we have Conan the Barbarian, issue 15. I want to know in the comments below, guys, should I jump on this book right now? I think I just spit all over the place. Should I jump on this book right now since we got that whole Blackstone thing going on? And then we have Dick Tracy, issue 5. Followed by Red Sonja, issue 14. Then we have, which is a funny book, Spawn Kills Every Spawn issue 3. And then we have a new Creep Show issue 1. And I think the first story here is written by Chip Zdarsky. And there you guys have it. There are the top 10 most anticipated and noteworthy comics for September 25th, 2024. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, leave a comment below. Subscribe to the channel. Give the video a like. Check out more content. And as always, guys, make sure you support the local comic shops. Keep buying, keep collecting, but always remember, read those comics so we can have great comic conversation. Guys, enjoy.